The Cleveland Browns introduced Todd Monken as the new head coach yesterday. Let's just hear a little from Todd Monken as to why he took the Cleveland job.
They're a big reason why I took this job. The defensive players. I didn't take this job because of Jim Schwartz. I have a lot of respect for Jim Schwartz, but as I would hope he has for me. But I took it because of the players that are here. And I said this to the other guys. I didn't think I'd say it, but I'm going to say it. When I was preparing for the Cleveland Browns, I wasn't trying to chip Jim Schwartz. I was chipping Myles Garrett. And when I was sliding a protection to the outside backers or Grant Delpit that were blitzing off the edge, I was sliding the protection of the players. And when I was worried about throwing to the right against Denzel Ward or Tyson Campbell to the left, that's who I was worried about throwing at.
One source who heard those comments yesterday with another team called them bizarre.
Yeah.
From the standpoint of throwing the backhanded compliment at Schwartz. Now, Schwartz's status is unresolved, and between Monken, GM Andrew Berry, and owner Jimmy Haslam, it's like they had their card, they had their talking points. Yesterday wasn't the day to talk about Schwartz's future because he's still under contract.
Yeah, right.
And I don't know what kind of game they're playing. Does Schwartz want to be fired and then he's going to go work somewhere else and they're going to pay him less and stick the Browns for the difference? Are the Browns waiting for him to ask to be released free and clear with no further obligation? It's clear he doesn't want to be there. And if I'm Monken, I don't want him there because if things go
sideways or whatever.
Right, and they're going to at some point.
Right.
You're going to have the defensive players possibly line up behind Schwartz.
Yeah.
It undermines your authority as the head coach of the team. So he made it clear the players make it go. And I think, and look, I said this when they hired Monken instead of Schwartz, I think they made the calculation, we need a coach who's going to fix our offense. We've got the defensive players.
Yeah.
We'll find a coordinator who can replicate or come close to replicating what Schwartz did. It's more important for us to pump up the offense.
Yeah, it was a tough situation. I mean, they do need to pump up the offense. There's no doubt about that. The shining beacon of that team has been Myles Garrett, that defense the last few years. They're special, right? Yeah, can they find someone to coach the defense and still be really good on that side of the ball? No doubt about it. You're right. The talent's real there. But he's special. I mean, he's the kind of guy that makes the defense go like, hey, we're one of the top 10 defenses, to like, whoa, this is the #1 defense in football. And we just saw like 2 years ago, they kind of went on a run where you're like, man, their defense can almost win the games by itself, just like we talked about with the Houston Texans this year. So that situation was dicey. I really thought ultimately they would hire Jim Schwartz just because of the special defensive mind he is. They don't have a lot of things in that organization to hang their hat on, and that was one of those things there. But yeah, he obviously feels like he was kind of in the leader house, and then they pulled the old okey doke on him, and he's not happy about it. I am shocked that Monken went down that road yesterday. I am. I'm a big fan of Todd Monken. I think he's going to surprise people with his head coaching ability and what he, as an offensive play caller, I like it. But I think that press conference yesterday probably ends the possibility of Jim Schwartz even remotely thinking about coming and still being in Cleveland.
And I don't think he wants him. Right. I still think that even if you don't want him, the best way to play it is to say Jim Schwartz has been the coordinator of a team that has finished in the top two of the last 3 years. I want him. I need him.
Right.
And I hope he chooses to stay.
Yeah.
And then you work everything else out behind the scenes.
Right.
But publicly, you've got to bang that drum. Now, you don't want to bang it so hard that it makes it harder to find a coordinator, but when you're bringing Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward and Carson Schwessinger to the table and others, you don't have to really tiptoe around all that much to find a great coordinator.
Yeah.
They're gonna be there.
Right.
They're gonna find someone to come in and take control of that defense. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.